and then we can send out the recording after it's over so that people can catch up with the information. So I just wanted to have a group meeting because I know the kids have been super excited about this, but I wanted to make sure parents felt good about it too. I'm a Ragnar alum, and probably some of you are as well. I've done it a couple of years as a runner, and find it to be super fun, but it takes a little coordination, and especially with kiddos doing it, I want to make sure we have all of our ducks in a row for it. We have to have 12 runners, and right now we have 4 confirmed. So that leaves us with 8 open spots. And Elena has talked to a lot of kids, but I haven't had a chance to talk to their parents to find out if their parents are on board with this too. So Elena, are you listening to this? Do you want to hop in on that? Do you want to tell us, do you have 8 more confirmed, or can some of these parents invite others to join?
You need to give me just a little bit more time. In about a week and a half, if I don't have anyone else, then we can ask for other people, because I have a good list of people.
Well, here's where it's coming down to. Our registration is due this week.
So
and
if you sign up, I know I'll be able to find the people. And if not, then I know that we have a good group of people who can find more people.
Okay, so I'm gonna sign up then for a team of 12. One of the things I do need help on is I can do this registration and some of the paperwork and things moving forward, but I do need help with either finding a minivan or a family who has one to share. In addition, a driver or 2.
Are we going to use 2 vans or 1?
You have to use 2 vans. You have to use 2 either minivans or vans. Because one is grouped together. There are 6 that run together in one van, and then there are 6 that run together in a second van, and they leapfrog each other through the 24-hour period. So just to lay it out for you guys, the mileage ends up being about, give or take, 20 miles a runner over the course of
well, Maddie actually found that it's 17. But
17. Yes, thank you. 17 to be precise. I'm being rounding. But 6 runners start in Wickenburg, and they run one after the other. And then that whole team follows the runner on the given path. Sometimes they're next to the runner giving support, and sometimes they're not. And then the whole group of 6 vans shows up at a meeting point, and they pass off the baton, or usually it's some sort of slap bracelet, to the next team, and the next 6 go. So then that first group of 6 goes to the next meeting spot and rests. And then the next 6 come and they leapfrog each other all the way from Wickenburg to Mesa. So are you guys familiar with how the Ragnar thing works?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, so go ahead.
Who are the 4 runners that we have right now?
Elena, go ahead.
Is it what we talked about last night?
Yep.
Okay, so both Maddies.
Tell us last names and what school they go to, please.
So it's a combination of kids from Cactus, Liberty, and Sunrise. And it's Maddie Reeves, me, and Maddie Skirp, who goes to Sunrise Mountain. Yeah, Skirp. And then Mom, you have the list, don't you?
Keep going. Olivia Dahlberg, her mom
goes to Sunrise, and yes, and Mom, who else is on?
Slater. And then you had contacted Gilbert, but we haven't heard back from his parents yet, right?
Right.
And you guys both run at Cactus.
And Maggie runs at Cactus too. And then I have a couple more friends from Liberty who are running as well.
Well, I can probably get Gilbert as long as I'm involved. I'm sure that Gilbert will be allowed to do it.
Cool. That's awesome.
Slater's texting with Gilbert right now.
Oh, good. Good.
What's the date?
The date is
February 15th to 16th.
So it starts on Friday morning, the 15th. And I can even, again, parents.
You have to miss school.
Yep. It starts Friday morning.
So I have a lot of access to runners if we need Millennium.
Oh, good.
Really, really, really good runners if we need more runners.
Okay, that's your choice. It's okay. Should I first start playing?
That's awesome. Thank you for that offer.
Okay.
That's awesome. Elena, if you could stay engaged here, because there are other runners that are being suggested, and I think we need to have confirmation from,
okay.
I'm happy to take the first 12 who's in registration.
All of a sudden, I can't hear you. You're totally muffled.
Okay, go ahead, Elena.
What?
You said you have 12 people confirmed, but
No, I did not say that. I said I had 8 or 9 confirmed.
So we could use some extra people if Slater could bring some over from other schools.
Right. That would be okay.
Okay.
But if you Mom, just give me one more week, and if I don't have it by then we can work on that.
Okay.
All right. So does anyone have a minivan that could be used? We need to find 2 minivans and 2 drivers, at least 2 drivers to help with this, that need to be parents, in my opinion.
I could drive, but we don't have a minivan. We had one about 6 months ago.
Yep.
Mom, Dad says that he can drive because Dawson's tournament got canceled, right?
So maybe Elena's dad could drive, and also.
And Grandpa said he would also be open to doing it.
Okay.
The first day. The problem is that so we have a wedding that we're attending in Tucson on Saturday. So my mom, I don't know if you're gonna go over ahead of time or what, but most of my family will be there, right?
Yeah, so I'm available to help in the morning on Friday, kind of get things kicked off, but then I'll have to leave later. Like I said, I can do a lot of the groundwork now, but I do need, it sounds like we have 2 drivers. We just need to also find 2 vans, Elena.
Okay.
Or 2 vehicles that would hold 6 runners and their gear. When we did it, we rented 15 passenger vans, but that gets super costly, even for an overnight. That's why I thought if we could ask around and find vans, that would be better.
Yeah, I don't even know anybody who has a van, so I don't have a clue on that besides renting it, and then that comes into the cost. So.
Yeah, I think, and to keep this as low budget as possible, I think let's just keep asking and finding people asking for a couple more, some people to kind of loan us their vans. That works the best, I think. All right. And then another thing to consider is registration $600, so that's $50 a person. I'm happy to take payment electronically or through cash or check. That's $50 a person. Elena has asked for an extra week to get those together, but I'm going to actually fill that out tonight so that we have it done.
And also, did you get the coupon I sent you?
Yeah, actually, high school teams pay the least amount, so I don't think they're going to let us use that coupon. I think it's only for actual adult teams that could benefit from it. Thank you for that. And a couple other things to keep in mind for cost. Part of the reason we want to keep it down, every runner needs to have a vest. There's certain Ragnar material that they need to have. They need to have a lighted vest or a reflective vest. They also have to have a blinking light that they wear on their backs during their runs. And then they also need to have a strong headlamp running headlamp for the front. And there is possibility within a van of sharing some of that equipment. It just, it's super sweaty and gross. It's kind of nice to keep it, if you have your own gear for early morning running in the dark or night running, to
And you can order it online too, cheaper, right, Mom? Because some of your friends had stuff like that online, like that glow vest thing.
Yeah, so the gear, you can buy the gear at Tortoise and Hare. They have it on hand. Ragnar sells a kit of gear that you can purchase, all the things that you have to have that are all within specs. They've determined what it has to look like. You can order that as a big pack from Ragnar, and I think you can probably piece it together too on Amazon if you like. But I think for vest and headlamp and all of that, it ended up being about $80 to have the right stuff to run with. And then we'd also like to get the kids tech shirts made that maybe have a name, some sort of thing that they can all wear together. And that would be probably a $20 cost. But we can talk more about that after the team's established. So just from a cost standpoint, to keep costs low, if we can plan on chipping in some for gas a little bit for each family, the gear, the registration cost, we're roughly looking at about $150 per person total. So that's including a tech shirt, and if I can get them for a good price, and the gear and the gas for the weekend. Any other questions you guys have about how to? The other thing is, once we know our runners, we can establish we'll establish the leg assignments, like who's running which leg of the race. Like I said, 6 run at a time together. There's one person that typically has a half marathon themselves in the middle of that, and there's just one person that runs that length of distance. The rest of everybody runs max, Elena, what, like 9 miles? I'm trying to think.
I think the max is like 8 or 9. I don't think it's anything longer than that. Most of them are 5 or 6.
And each runner runs 3 times in the course of the whole event. 3 different times.
And the one thing I wanted to say is that when I first put together this team, I was focusing on doing it for fun rather than competing. So it doesn't really matter to me, like, the pace that everyone's going, because I know everyone will go their own pace. So I know, like, I've know, like, adult teams in the past have, like, really competed, like, competitively, and that's not the reason that I wanted to do this. I just thought it would be a really neat event. And so I thought that it'd be fun. So I'm looking at it more in a fun way. So in the same way, I talked to my track coach already, who's my distance coach for cross country, and I made sure that he supported me doing this because it's also, like, at the beginning of track season. So I thought it would be a good idea so that he kind of understands, and he supported me to do it. So that's also something that I would probably do.
Cool. Thanks for that. The other thing that reminded me of that, Elena, is once we have our team, maybe you're taking some notes as well, but once we have the team established, I think one of the things that would be important is, one of the things that I really liked is we made a spreadsheet of everyone's their pace per mile. So we kind of know about the times that different parts of the route, so that parents can come out to support, that we can figure out where we're going to sleep. There is one stretch in the evening that you can actually get a good couple hours of sleep, either in the van or they provide floors at local high schools, local gym floors, yep. Or at somebody's home if somebody lives close by to a certain location. Once we get into the East Valley, that'll be less difficult, or that'll be more difficult. But that way, then we kind of have a rough estimate of, if we know our pace per mile, kind of where everybody should be hitting their goals to finish the competition. All right. All right. Any questions? Some of you who are listening right now, this is a great time for you to tell us, like, if you think this is a great fit for you and your family, if this is something that I appreciate everybody being on tonight and enduring my texts over the Christmas break. We knew we wanted to get this done sooner than later so that the kids could keep training and get the things that they needed. Elena got a lot of her Ragnar gear for Christmas. Anyway, questions or thoughts that I'm forgetting at this point?
Well,
What's the easiest way? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, this is Olivia's mom, and we haven't discussed this at all, so I apologize if she's told you that she's committed, because we haven't even talked about it. I'm familiar to a point with the race, but I would definitely want a lot more details, and I don't know if that's something like if there's a website. I mean, as far as, does everyone drive to Wickenburg? What time does it start at Wickenburg? It sounds like right now, just from what you've said, is that you're looking at being there on Friday, but do you have any other people that are looking at, I guess I just don't understand the process as far as, is how many teams are there going to be? Is Wickenburg going to be just like chock-a-block full of like 1,000 people that are starting? And how does that all work? And then, yeah, definitely as far as resting and sleeping and safety, I heard you say that there's other runners that are running alongside the girls, but I'm like, where are the parents in the vans during each leg?
Yep. Those are awesome questions. I'm going to start with the Wickenburg question. They actually take us out on the other side, I'm going to forget the name of the road. But we run some dirt roads and out in some neighborhoods where vans don't track, but that's during the day. So during the day, it's really great because there's good light and there's a lot of people around. There are quite a few runners that they take out in the middle of nowhere. They set up a race start there, and sometimes both vans come out to take pictures and things like that as it gets started, and then the other van leaves right after the start begins, and then they go to the next waiting point. And sometimes what I was suggesting is, I know some parents, I have some flexibility with my work schedule, so I could do daytime. That's why I was offering that. But I know, like, Elena's dad teaches, so he wouldn't be available until after 4. So I could probably track with kids, through that Friday, and then he could pick it up after that. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
There are
Yep.
some, and you can go to find the information on the website. If you look up Ragnar del Sol is the name of it. You can find all the maps and course information right there on the web.
Okay.
And there are some places where the van does not go next to the race path. So they're either on a trail, or they're not a hiking trail, but like a dirt canal run or something like that. There were times that when I ran with a group of women and we didn't feel comfortable running by ourselves at night, that we had either friends that weren't in Ragnar come and run with us for one of those, to just pace with us for one of those runs, or somebody else from our team took on an extra leg. And like, I ran with one of my girlfriends in the middle of the night because she was in a part of, we were up by Anthem, and we had just come out of the lighted area of Anthem, and we were Ragnar has their course marked, but the van couldn't go with her. So I said I would run with her. So I just continued after I think I had like a 3 mile, and then I just ran the next 3 miles with her so that we were buddy running together to to support each other, since we didn't have a van next to us. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. So is that the kind of thing that you're saying, that after you have the runners, I mean, obviously I don't want my kid running through the desert by themselves. I mean,
Right.
even if there's, a path you know, there could be someone way up ahead of her or way behind her, and then she's literally out there by herself. So I'm like,
Yep.
I'm hearing what you're saying, as far as there possibly maybe being other runners who are like buddy runners.
Yep.
I guess that's a red flag for me a little bit, as far as I mean, obviously safety has to be the number one thing as far as the girls running and where they are, and is it lighted, and are there people around.
Yep.
So that's my main concern, just listening.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd have to feel good about that, and that there's no opportunity for some kind of a mishap.
Yep. I totally agree with you. And like I said, running with an all-female team, I mean, obviously we're adults, but we wanted to take those precautions as well. So I would be in support of that as well. Having somebody, looking at maybe looking at Olivia, like specifically if you guys choose to, I mean, we'll just have to look at the course. You can actually track the course on the runragnar.com website. And it changed the second year that I did it. Some of it goes, straight down, like some of it goes right down Happy Valley Road here in Peoria. But then, like I said, it angles up to New River and out to Carefree and down, through, and those are the evening. I remember one night I was running, I was running, I don't think it was Highway 74, but they have lots of volunteers out there, but nothing that would, for the night part of the running, it does take a special, it does take some special planning to make sure that that's as safe as it can be, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that we could arrange that to where when it's at night, when the van can't be there, the kids will just have to be on the buddy system.
Yep.
For those parts where the van can't be there. I'm sure that the kids would be more than willing to do that, or if a parent would want to run.
Yep.
I don't know if I can go out there and run a 7-mile segment, but
I don't think we run as fast as our kids, let's be honest.
Megan's telling me right now that she's more than happy to run with people because she's not going to be part of the team, but she would be open to doing that. And same with, like, we got to see my uncle run. We watched him in his leg. It was like 2 a.m. and it was it was like by O'Connor. And so we actually saw him in like 3 different places, and we just drove the car and then like cheered him on, and then half a mile later saw him again. And it was kind of like a stop and go kind of thing. So we got to see him along there.
And that's probably how I would do it with you too, Elena, is to track you a little bit through the night. It just means a big sacrifice on us as parents too, for not a lot of sleep on that Friday night, making sure our kiddos are okay, which is our first priority anyway. So buddying up, I mean, I know that that's not a fail-proof method of keeping them completely safe, 2 of them at once, but it might be better than just one by themselves. For the most part, if I'm remembering correctly, I would need to look at the map again to know for sure, because I feel like I ran alongside the road there could have been cars on, like good support, van support.
Are they running on roads that have been blocked off for the race specifically, or is it still open, like, to public traffic?
Most of them are open to public traffic. Some, they are coned off, and so they do try to keep them on less busy roads. What's that road out in Surprise that, not the 303, but it's farther out than that?
163rd?
Yeah, it's that 4-lane road that's out there that really nobody drives on. That was one of our legs, I remember. Kind of like, anyway, so yeah, some roads are less traffic than others, but like Happy Valley was open. The runners were on the sidewalk and they were coned off. They had to navigate the crosswalks on their own. Stopping at crosswalks and things like that. At 2:00 in the morning, it was pretty quiet.
Mm-hmm.
For example. But that is definitely the safety issue is definitely part of what we'd want to take into consideration. Thanks for bringing that up.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And I also want to say, Bev, I as a mom to mom, I totally get kids deciding and wanting to do these things and then it not working out for families, and that's okay. There's no pressure from us on either decision.
Yeah, we just definitely need to look at the website, talk about it as a family, look at that weekend, as far as work and all the rest of that kind of stuff. So, and see how we would participate in that.
Cool.
So it starts on Friday morning at what time?
That's what I'm trying to figure out right now. My experience was that it started, let's see. I'm not sure why I'm not finding in the morning, like by 9 a.m. or something.
Okay.
If I remember, yeah, I'm not sure why it's not. There's a, I'm not seeing the times. They have the course. There's a course link that talks about, they label all of their courses with how many miles it is and how they rank it as a very hard or an easy leg. And then, here, start line is at 4 a.m.
Oh my gosh. So really like Thursday night-ish.
Yeah.
Friday morning. Okay.
So Thursday night is picking up. Picking up at Roadrunner Sports. And then start line is in Wickenburg off of the 60, Sunset Park it's called. And it says exchange opens at 4 a.m. I don't think that's when it actually starts. But then
maybe when they're taking in all of the registrations and everything.
Correct.
And
yeah. So it might start more like 7 or 8 o'clock because the first exchange is then exchange 6. So after 6 runners run, then that next van starts up, and it says that place opens in Tonopah, Arizona at 10 a.m. and it closes at 6:45. So people are leaving from there all day.
Okay.
But probably be a good idea to just have the first van there in the
Correct.
morning and let those other runners sleep in, and the parents that are in that other van or whoever decides to go doesn't have to be there.
Yep.
Doesn't have to get their kids and everything up there at 6 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning, whatever time it is.
Correct. Yeah, and like I said, our start time, they must do waterfall starts because I don't remember us starting until like 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. Willow Canyon is exchange 12, so in Surprise, and it says that they'll have indoor sleeping there. So that would be the second van. Let's see, the first van, the second van, the first van. So it'd be the second van, I think, would like spend the night on the floor at Willow Canyon High School, and it would be available after 9 p.m. or something, or not available after 9. Outdoor sleeping is available after 3. So once kids are left for the day from Willow Canyon, the Ragnar runners take over.
Okay.
So you can kind of, so that's underneath the bar on the course, Bev, so you can check that later, each of the exchange locations. Exchange 18 is at Sandra Day O'Connor. That's what we were talking about earlier. The next exchange is at, and this is after 12 people have run every time, CCV and Anthem. Then the next exchange is Cactus Shadows High School in Cave Creek. And then the finish line is Riverview Park in Mesa.
Oh, it's in Mesa. Okay. I thought it was in Tempe. Okay.
Rio Salado. So right on the edge there, 2100 West Rio Salado.
Okay.
The west side of Mesa, or however that works. Yeah. So that's all underneath. Yeah. Underneath that link, of course. But
Okay, perfect.
yeah, so check that out. There's some good information there, I think.
Yep.
Awesome. Other thoughts or questions or anything I can clarify while I have you guys tonight?
So you are going to go ahead and register, even though we don't have a full team all set up, just to make the deadline.
Yeah, because I'd like to. I think we can get some extras between your connections at Millennium as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a high school running team, so they all have to just be in high school to be part of this particular team.
All right.
And
all right. So what would be the best way, you said, electronically to transfer you money for the registration?
Yeah. So I use PayPal or Venmo.
All right. Okay.
You can use my phone number on Venmo or my PayPal address. I can text you.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, and then we'll talk about it, and then I will let you know by Friday how we're going to move forward, okay?
That's awesome, Bevan. If you want to give me a call or just send me a text, that's fine. I'd love to chat with you more.
Okay, perfect. That sounds good.
I'm going to I'll give this recording to Elena, too, so we can pass this on to kids and parents alike so that we can keep generating some interest and excitement.
Thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah, of course. Well, thanks for being on a group call. This worked out great.
All right.
Thanks.
Have a good night.
All right.